Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the show where we go exploring, where we cover... God damn it, Dragon, I fucked up. Of course I fucked up. We're here, and we're back to cover episode 18 of season 3 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology entitled... Dramatic Pause. Like the Wick! So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
Yep. Gee, I have it right in front of me and I messed up. I was like, I'm going to do the intro without reading it. Yeah, I can do that. Okay, anyways, Dragon.
Moral of the story, learn to read.
Right, so we're back. Of course, I need to upload all the Saul stuff to the So You Want to Be an Imagineer channel, but we have gotten through all our Saul podcasting for the season. Well, not for the season. We're caught up on it, of course, 2 episodes to go. But Gotham is complete for the season, Dragon. And you know who is not complete for Gotham is me. I'm not caught up at all. I just watched episode 18 tonight. I have not watched episodes 19, 20, or the 2-part season finale. So Dragon, I feel like... You know, I feel like because we're so late on this Gotham podcasting, we can play a little bit of a game with this. We can kind of have some fun with it and do it in sort of a unique way where, since I'm so behind, Dragon, and since you're caught up, you know, you see how everything's gone down, we're going to play this essentially as kind of like a B-grade animated Batcave, where it's like, you're the expert on Season 3, Dragon. You're the Season 3 prophet, and I have been steadfastly avoiding spoilers. I know nothing, you know, so you are just going to take me on this journey as we recap what happens. You know everything. I know nothing. That's how it will be. And, of course, at the end of this, we will play a ridiculous, nonsensical, hot or cold guessing game about where I think the season's going to go from here. So that should be fun. So
it's fun for the folks at home who have seen it, so they might know.
I know, right? So let's dive right into it. This is, as I said, season 318. Like the Wick, we begin with a very good cold open of Barnes being led through Arkham. You know, of course, I just love the comic bookiness of this. Like Barnes, just like he's still repeating his favorite word, guilty.
Yep.
While you have the Hatter kind of giving like a play-by-play, you know, giving his best like insane John Madden impression.
Do you remember the Mad Hatter? Of course, he's obsessed with anyone with Alice's blood in them. So, I mean, Barnes, of course, aside from Jim Gordon, who's responsible for everything. You know, you got Gordon, you got Barnes. He's always obsessed with.
Mm-hmm. So he's just like, oh look, you know, like
it's Captain Barnes. Basically, he has a very intricate, you know, very kind of Alice in Wonderland.
And then of course he's rhyming, and then the Talon shows up. Who is this new player that enters the fray? What mysterious forces are at play in the middle of the night?
So, well, first, before I just want to massage this out a little bit here. So Barnes is being transported via like Hannibal Lecter chain, by the way, which is kind of funny, and it's like the most
like screaming guilty over the Hannibal Lecter mask.
Absolutely, and basically the Mad Hatter, he's like from a cell, like kind of like towards the like kind of the foundation of the asylum. So basically, he has like a perfect view. It's a really well composed shot. Again, production values in the show are always really good. Like it's all kind of artistic and gothic like this. So, you know, he's basically giving a play-by-play of the you know, he's enjoying the escape attempt because basically Barnes attempts to escape. Because really, Arkham really just shows you this is Arkham Asylum in the super corrupt Gotham, where it's just two guards with a guy who they know has super strength. Did no one think this through? Just 2 guys and then like 2 other guys that run to their aid. That was the plan.
Right.
So then a Talon appears, and oh boy, when a Talon appears, oh, that makes me happy.
Oh yeah.
So of course, Mad Hatter, he's fascinated by the
mysterious new figure who's you know, come into the fray and entered the game, if you will.
Yes, and I just love seeing a Talon versus Barnes. Which because it seems like, you know, Talon might be in trouble, but then he injects Barnes and kind of flips over his head. It's really cool.
Yeah, we have some good kind of like Mortal Kombat-esque fight scenes in the episode. Some good one-on-one matchups.
Yes,
especially with the Talons. So,
so then, of course, this leaves the Mad Hatter very, very curious. The new mysterious force at play that has kidnapped Barnes for its own nefarious purposes.
Oh God.
We then cut to Barnes' awakening, I believe,
with Catherine.
Yes.
Catherine, let me just say, Dragon, Catherine's just getting better and better as the season goes on. As someone who knows the future, Dragon, I hope things don't end disappointingly with Catherine. Like, I hope that everything they're building with Catherine leads to something satisfying, because right now I'm very much on board.
All I can say is that it does build to something unexpected, something kind of awesome with Catherine. That Barnes does factor into.
Oh, the guessing game continues. All right.
I'll say that much. It's like something you would never expect.
All right, so let's see. So Catherine is a big fan of Barnes. She, she admires the way that he wants Gotham to be judged and the guilt to be punished. It's something you can agree on. Like some friends rub elbows over their favorite bands. Catherine and Barnes, they rub elbows over their want of justice and guilt being punished. Tomato.
Yeah, essentially, the court thinks the executioner, Barnes is kind of his fancy name that, again, they couldn't go with an actual established name, but I'm not splitting hairs. The point is, the court, again, we've enjoyed our original characters on Gotham, but so the court thinks the executioner has potential as a court assassin who fits in with his ideals, and basically as a servant to the court in some capacity, he was also obviously a very well trained assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham will be judged, and basically they both agree that Gotham needs to be judged, and the guilty must be punished. Which, of course, fits very much in with Barnes' kind of blood infused. And also, I love this lab, and I love how we come back to this lab. Just like this really cool little, it's the red lighting of the blood. Hence the Tetch blood. It's always red and ominous looking.
Mm-hmm. And I love how excited Barnes gets when he hears about Gordon. He breaks out of his bonds and removes the mask. If you release me, then Gordon will be punished.
Yes, well, a lot of that comes later, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I am kind of jumping.
I mean, he is interested, but more of that later. So the point is that Barnes, he's eager to join the court. So release me. And then they say they have plans. They have plans that needs the Alice blood virus.
Mm-hmm.
And importantly, Catherine promises not to drain Barnes completely, implying that, again, she has further use for him down the line. Then we see an old familiar face. We have the Hugo Strange reveal with the perfect red lighting to match his glasses. That, again, I'm loving this lab setup here. It's, oh boy, and what does he say, Tiki?
Hello, Captain. And then he raises a gigantic, over-the-top cartoony needle. This might sting. Oh, yeah. Really good cold open. And unfortunately, Dragon, we transitioned from that cold open to, oh God, what are the writers doing? Dragon, are they trolling us at this point? I really feel like they're trolling us. Much like Better Call Saul was trolling us with the T, I feel like they're trolling us with this Lee stuff.
To be fair, they're messing with us in a fun way on Better Call Saul.
To be fair, yes. This is just really, we really got to play this way. We really got to play this way.
It's kind of the same thing where it's sort of like a wink of are you listening sort of thing with Better Call Saul. Are they listening to us? And here it's what God's are they listening to us? Are they listening to us? They're making us feel miserable on this one.
Exactly.
It's I don't like what they said. Let's make it worse.
I mean, seriously, it's it just makes me wonder, Dragon, again, with you knowing the future, how much worse can this storyline get?
Those are very dangerous words.
Okay. All right, so let's see. So basically, she's just openly confronting Bullock about things.
Was dumb. There are a lot of dumb Lee scenes in this.
Yep. She's she's presenting Bullock with her report of Frank Gordon's death, cause of death, homicide.
Okay, so the minute this was said, this is not as bad as one of my favorite episodes in Gotham, where it's the man who came in to work with the witness to the GCP was quote unquote.
Okay, yeah, right.
Committed suicide by being murdered. It's not as bad as that, but still, I mean, it's a very clear case. We saw it. We, the audience, saw it. Again, Frank put the gun to his head and he shot himself. That is knowing her as as a medical examiner, there is no way not to rule that as a suicide. But she noticed the little mob trick, which I really do love that the court employs the old mob trick, which kind of gives Carmine Falcone a little bit more kind of clout in the court of house, which I do like. Kind of the idea of the old mob.
You know what? I bet you anything she learned that mob trick through Mario.
I would. Well, at the very least, she spent time with Falcone, so she might have learned from him. Even.
Sure.
So I mean, yeah. Either way, that I'll give. That's like one thing I did like, and I like the little detail. See, details like that remind me of stuff like Scott Snyder put in the Court of Owls book, of like when he's looking like the micro incisions that are like on the bones, implying that Alan Wayne was like stabbed 1 billion times instead of falling down, just being chopped up. Let's see. So just on the whole, so again, Lee's just ruling Frank Gordon a suicide, even though again, no signs. It's a tampering with the body afterwards, but again, no signs of. Anything else? Bullock's being very patient. He's addressing how upset and obviously biased Lee is.
A little biased. Just a little biased.
As I wrote in my notes, it is a suicide, you idiot! With 3 exclamation points, as I was so angry with it. You moron! And she's trying to pin a murder on Jim Gordon, you stupid God.
Yeah, it's obviously just out of like petty revenge. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, she knows he's keeping a secret. It doesn't mean you need to like try to charge him with murder.
God. Well, I don't know. I feel like we should kind of like be conservative with our Lee hate because it gets worse even in this episode. So I feel like we should kind of yada through this as much as we can.
Okay, so point is she's being very unfair. Then they have this bit. Oh, this is a little pip. This is a pip right here, Tiki. This. All right. She says to Bullock. Tell me I'm not crazy, Harvey. You're not crazy. And Bullock has a great line here. You're not crazy. You're hurt.
Yeah, that's a good kind of like rational line. Of course, in my notes, I'm like, you're crazy, Lee. You're insane. You're insane. Someone get this woman a straitjacket.
To quote Gallivant, and not Gallivant, she's cuckoo bananas. But
I kind of go on a little bit of a tangent in my notes here.
So the point is, she won't take no for an answer, and Bullock's just very, very smartly just kind of trying to talk her and trying to throw her off the scent. And then she says this line, which makes you really pissed off.
We used to be friends, Harvey.
I know you're covering for him, and I'm gonna find out.
Like
he told you to leave it. He's your superior. Lee told you.
Yeah.
He's literally your boss. He told you to leave it.
And again, it gets worse. It gets worse. I believe you when you say it gets worse in future episodes, but even in this episode, it gets worse. Hold on to your hats, kids. All right.
Right, let's see. So then we have a court meeting. Now let's remember, because it's been a while. The ending of the previous episode was that awesome shot of Gordon dying.
I will admit that was a really good cliffhanger that we left on.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So yes.
This is now just to be clear. This is the ruling council. These are like the top dogs of the Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the ruling council. They're planning to suspend activity. While they prepare for the big plan, because Gotham's judgment is imminent.
Oh yeah.
Tiki, I know it sounds simple. I love when they talk about Gotham's judgment. It sounds all cool.
No, you're right, and that's what we've been waiting for with the court stuff. So it's all very fan service-y.
Speaking of waiting for the court stuff, then we see Jim in the mask again. It's like oh god, like that persona thing Ben McKenzie was talking up. We finally got it. He's wearing the Court of Owls mask.
Right.
So basically, we have a staff meeting to remind everyone, to submit a list. Essentially, this meeting's all about, okay, we got the plans going on, and she's reminding everyone to submit your list of people to be considered to be spared for this thing at Gotham, so we can target a certain area at Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be up for approval today, and we are adjourned. Essentially, that's kind of the mundane version of the Court of Owls meeting. Let's see, Catherine. Again, I love seeing the inside ceremony of the Court of Owls, where Catherine at the end of the meeting, she hangs up the mask, puts on like a fancy little pillow. Well, not a pillow. She puts on like a little fancy stand she has for it.
Right.
Of course, Jim's an inside man here, so he's kind of staying behind to see this. He's going to take a note of the room so he can get back in there later and do some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Meanwhile,
okay, let's see what do we got next. We have Ivy. Ivy's talking to one half of Babs and Tabs. No Babs this episode, just Tabs.
Yep, don't worry, we'll get more Babs down the line.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Okay.
Let's see. So essentially, Ivy, she's kind of greeting a very uncaring and very uninterested Tabitha, who's just like counting money. Just counting money, just like off this. It's like, not the dumb, just does not care. And like again, she knows she has familiarity with Selena, so just Ivy's coming up.
I think she has a tinge of jealousy with Selena because it fills up Barbara's attention.
No, I didn't quite get that. But then again, it might be a little bit of hot and cold there. I can't really get.
We'll see.
Get into that.
Then again, there was that whole wasn't there that whole Selena and Tabitha Tabitha taking Selena under her wing thing?
That was the talk in season 2. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how that pans out.
Anyway. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so let's see. So Tab's basically, after being really short with Ivy, she gets a little twinge of sympathy, and she's like, "Oh, I checked Gotham General. Word on the street is that Selena took a pretty hard fall out the window."
It's a lot like Batman Returns.
Yeah, right. I love how the cats basically had no impact on Selena's recovery. I love that. It was just literally just for the pure visual pornography of it all, just cat imagery. Remember Michelle Pfeiffer?
Well, thankfully there wasn't a supernatural cat thing. We didn't have to worry about any of that.
Sure. Anyway.
But anyway, regardless, I
clapped when I saw it. Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, of course, you have that eerie thing where her eyes were open, kind of like Michelle Pfeiffer's, implying, did she kind of die for a minute? What happened?
Right.
So meanwhile, so after this point, Ivy has the hospital information now. So Jim enters the meeting room. Sometimes past Jim enters the meeting room while the coast is clear. He gets he has a little fingerprint dusting kit with him, basically anything in a forensic lab kit. You have a little powder thing, you have a little brush. So basically, he's kind of getting a print off of Catherine's mask, so you can kind of find out more about her. Off the handle to the mask, I like how the court masks kind of go on like sunglasses. That's kind of a neat little addition that the book's
right.
They never really addressed how they went on the book, because in reality, as Tiki knows, they have a string on the back of them.
Oh God! In reality, yes.
Yeah, we probably should have that. Do we have that already?
At the ready, is it at the ready? I have to grab for it, so go ahead.
Anyway, so the point is, Jim, he's kind of nosing around looking for some stuff that's going to give him some insight to the Court of Owls, mainly to Kath and kind of the head honcho of the Court of Owls. So he's dusting for prints. Someone enters. He quickly puts his mask on. But he drops the dust vial, and he drops the vial of the fingerprinting dust.
This very much reminded me of Better Call Saul with Nacho and the pill.
Absolutely, this is the thing where kind of Gordon basically kind of hides the vial under his shoe without stepping on it. He kind of hides it under the heel of his shoe or something. Thinking fast, he hides it with his foot. Again, I wrote to my notes Better Call Saul, abbreviated BCS. And basically, he's asking about the list. The adding names of friends and love. Asking about what's the list.
He kind of thinks fast and plays dumb a little bit.
Yeah, because he was there, and he's asking for a reminder. Hey, what's the list about again? He says your names of your friends and loved ones you want to be spared in the plan.
Dragon, I'm sorry, I'm going to drop the most outdated Heroes reference in the world on you. Are you ready for it?
Go on.
Are you on the list? Are you on the list? Poor man saved the cheerleader, saved the world, folks.
Anyway, so
on the list. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so Jim just kind of save face, while he's kind of hiding and pocketing while he gets the vial, he adds a name to the list. I would like to think that it's Bullock or maybe Bruce.
I would love to think it's Bullock. Bullock would be even above Bruce Wayne. Bullock would be my number one choice.
I'm saying if he's putting more than one, we don't know how many names. If he's putting more names, obviously it's Bullock. But I'm saying if he puts more than one, then it's probably Bruce Wayne, which obviously wouldn't go through because they have plans for Bruce Wayne that he doesn't know about. So regardless, it's just for submission. So he's just writing a name down. I would like to think it's Bullock and not a certain other character. Really not happy with this season.
Oh no! Oh God, Dragon! Oh, okay. If you know that he wrote down Lee's name.
I'll say this much: we don't know who he writes down. Right? We never come back to that. Unfortunately, we never come back to that.
Okay.
Wouldn't
that be awful? Wouldn't that be just a slap in the face? That after all that, that's the one person he wanted to save.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that would be terrible.
I mean, you're right. I'm just saying again.
I would honestly consider quitting watching the show if that was the case. I really would. I'm not kidding.
No, we don't. Again, I would safely assume. I think the smart guess, the smart money's on Bullock. If he's writing one name down, obviously it's Bullock. Anyway, so I love it's a quill pen. I love the Corvallis, all their business with quill, quill pens, quill owl feather pens. Oh yeah. He leaves. Right. So then he leaves. Then he leaves. Then we have the next scene with Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. So Ivy.
Any luck finding the thing?
Yeah, it's right here.
I was saying, hey, mask, and he was wearing a mask, and he was also like dusting the prints off the mask. Okay.
Right. So let's see. Yeah, Ivy is using the truth scent, whatever majigger on the
perfume. She has perfume that compels people to follow her.
It's not perfume. It's a truth scent, whatever majigger. I just made that up.
Right. So Ivy's horrified at seeing Selena in the state she's in, and she's in shock over the comatose Selena. Then she forces the doctor via the perfume to tell her what happened and give her the prognosis.
And basically, Selena's in really bad shape, and all they can do is make her comfortable.
We had the all right gag. Like, tell me she's going to be all right. She's going to be all right. No, you're just saying that because I told you.
You're just saying that because I'm saying that. Screw it.
See, this Ivy is so much more fun.
I know. She's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Let's see. So it basically tells her she fell. It gives her the hard facts. She fell. We did everything. There's not much we can do at this point. It's all on her.
So Ivy vows to heal her lost friend.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving right along, we have Catherine hovering over Strange.
I love that Hugo Strange is listening. I love that he's listening to opera music, by the way.
Yes. It's bad enough that you keep me against my own will, but you have to hover over me as I work. Oh, that beady Wong.
I tell you, he's playing the comedy on Strange coming back. Which is really fun.
He is, yeah.
Because we saw Hugo Strange. He was like
in season 2, like it started off as much as we had hoped for. Like the really menacing, like intimidating, just psychologically manipulative. And then, yeah, you're right. In season 3, I feel like they're embracing the fun side of Strange a lot more.
Because think about it. I mean, Strange in season 2, he was like the height of his power, and then at the end of it, he was like, we just went a little. At the end, last thing we saw Hugo Strange, he was half frozen, half incinerated, yet he somehow survived. Right. And then, then he was in the cool cell at the beginning of this season. Then he just kind of he's out of it for us, and now he's just coming back. And what season 3 has been doing so well is addressing kind of the absurdity. If Hugo Strange's been through so much, and he's working for the people he's very terrified of against his will, so he's gonna have a little fun with it. Yeah, you have to over all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so importantly, it is mentioned that he did manage to find a cure for Fish Moody. So Fish Moody obviously is alive, and she did survive. There is a all right. Well, now these are outdated. I have some notes that are a little bit outdated because we waited. So I got
okay.
Sorry, I just got to make sure I don't go through those. The point is, Hugo Strange is all prideful and stuff. He's
Is he proud of his boy?
Sure, Tiki is more like he's proud of his work. He's so proud of his work.
God. Okay. Oh boy.
Let's see. Anyway, let's see. So there's obviously some history between Hugo and Catherine, which I do love the sense of history between these two. Because of course, we know that Strange has always been kind of an underling of Catherine's. He's always kind of worked, with Madam Court woman, Madam Court Council woman. He's always been observant to, which gives a sense of history with, he's able to kind of have this casual conversation with her without being really terrified of her.
Sure.
Anyway, so Strange delivers a test subject. He delivers with the virus, the work he's been doing. He says he demonstrates it with the test subject in a little vacuum sealed chamber.
This kind of reminds me of the dip sequence from Roger Rabbit in a way.
In a way, yes.
Just the helpless guy who's just about to get incinerated.
Yep.
I mean, not incinerated, but just hopelessly. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So suppose we have a victim in a chamber. He puts a little vial of blood, and basically this is blood that will be kind of put into the air. It will be kind of aerosoled, I guess. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he puts a vial of blood in a gaseous form. So basically, that's the plan. They're going to gas things. That's kind of what we get a demonstration of. But this is basically the plan for the entire city. What we see here. Which, by the way, very Batman Begins influence. Let's mention that. So obviously, this.
I definitely think this whole, especially with Bruce and everything that's going on there, we're definitely getting a big Batman Begins lean.
Absolutely, which I think is kind of funny. I love the twofold combination of, okay, this is a plan that, yes, there's a lot of Batman Begins in terms of, how to attack Gotham simultaneously, but at the same time, it also is something very kind of Scarecrow, kind of Fear Gas-esque in a way of this sort
You're
of...
right, sure.
Mainly this whole, we're going to turn Gotham against itself sort of thing. We're going to show Gotham its inner demons, which is what the virus does. It shows you your inner demons, sort of your inner truth, and basically it'll tear itself apart. Kind of a message with the thing that Begins didn't quite have. Mm-hmm. I'm saying there were many messages in Begins. I'm saying something tied directly into the gas.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Demons. Oh, so he infects the guy, and basically he gasses the guy, which he turns very vicious and very strong.
This is a really good effect, man. Like the foaming the mouth and everything. Really, really effective.
Very scary, yes. So basically he's finally succeeded in weaponizing the virus, which is exactly what the courts wanted.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. We have Bruce training. Dragon, is this motherfucker Ducard or not? I don't care if you spoil it, okay?
Look, all I can say is that they do reveal who he is, but at the same time, it's this weird thing where in some of the additional stuff, there's this video
I'm just sick of not knowing what to write down for its name, all right?
Well, I'm saying it's kind of... Well, they confirm who he is, but it's a little complicated. It's essentially they don't say the name Ducard, but they've confirmed he is essentially Ducard. Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna call him Ducard. Are we okay with this?
Well, I'm saying they
Are
never.
we okay with this? Let me just call him Ducard, Dragon, please.
But they never call him Ducard in the show.
I don't care. He's Ducard. All right.
Fine. Call him. They can't call him the Shaman.
No, I can't call him the Shaman. That's dumb.
I'm saying they reveal his actual name, which is much...
Right. I'm calling him Ducard. Okay.
Fine, but when they reveal his actual name, we gotta call him by that.
Fine.
All right.
But for now, he's Ducard, so what is Ducard up to, Dragon?
Fine, Mr. Semantics. Here's what Ducard's doing. So, Bruce and his mentor here. Basically, Bruce is sparring with a Court of Owls member. With sticks, kind of doing like the old kind of like the dual stick combatant thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to say, obviously this guy looks very, let's just say, League influences, hence the Ducard things. He looks very, very kind of very influenced.
Right.
He's basically trying to. The shaman here is trying to motivate Bruce with the promise that hey, if you win, you can leave here. Bruce calls it like a manipulation, which he says, "Okay, you're just trying to manipulate me, aren't you? That's all you're trying to do here." And again, the shaman here is just like Bruce. He intensifies the sparring as the shaman educates him. You give him pointers along the way, basically saying, hey, the shaman's always had great lines, by the way. Raymond J.
Think
Barry.
it's strength? It's not. You think you can harness it? You can't. Then we're getting like flashes to Bruce's parents' death, because we've never seen that before in Batman iconography. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's effective.
Right.
Your rage, Bruce, it blinds you. You seek to control it, and yet it controls you.
Yeah, I mean, I like the intercutting of just like showing the rage on Bruce while he's going to doing this.
And then I'm sorry, I have a quick note. I have a quick joke in my notes. The shaman's going on like, rage and pain are two sides of the same coin. And then we cut to Harvey Dent. He just sheds a single tear and walks away. Sad Hulk music plays. They mentioned the coin,
but not me.
Right. Okay. Anyways, anything else with that scene?
Well, let me see. As I was saying, Raymond J. Barry, he plays the shaman, does an excellent job. All of his dialogue sounds really good and mentory, very, very, very good. But yeah, essentially, rage is blinding Bruce. That's kind of the point he's making, and he seeks to control it. But his it's controlled Bruce since that night, and that's what's kind of stopping him from reaching his full potential. The rage and pain being same side of the coin. Like, again, they're somewhat different things, but they're very close to each other. And he has to find that divide between them. Essentially, he offers a way of releasing the pain of that night. Basically, in doing so, there'll be nothing to stop Bruce from reaching his destiny, which. I love here with this is that this is kind of the opposite of Jim Gordon's teachings to Bruce. Remember, fear shows us where the edge is, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Basically, we need limitations, to show us where the edge is. Where basically, I just love it's kind of that flip side here with the shaman is like he's saying, "Hey, look, I'm gonna free you from that. You're gonna be numb to this thing, and you're gonna be again. It's like this dangerous, tempting path for Bruce to go down. It's kind of like the fun little reverse of like kind of the human." Gordon's trying to humanize the kid, and the other one wants to be beyond human, which of course would be close to Batman. So it's kind of a very interesting it's a dangerous freeing path Bruce is going on.
It's kind of like a tightrope in a way between two ideologies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we transition to a crying Harvey Dent to the much better Harvey on the show.
Well, like the only Harvey on the show. Let's not just say better, because again, we get nothing with Dent to really say he's better. So.
Oh God!
So Bullock calls and calls with some information, calls with some exposition, calls with the fact that Kathy, they ran the information that Gordon acquired, the fingerprints and everything. Her name is Catherine Monroe, and I love the backstory on Catherine, by the way. I love this idea that I love getting history in the Court of Owls, of course. So I love the fact that Catherine, the Monroe family is one of the oldest families in Gotham. And they have an address, and just the fact again, like saying, and we get more on this by Catherine herself down the line. Just the fact she's been just motivation for for how long the court's been acting here, and we eventually find out she was like one of the first families in the Court of Owls period. So just really nice stuff there. So Harvey has an address for Jim. He gives him the address. Jim surmises that only she knows where the weapon is, and her house might hold some clues. So if he can find that out before, basically the less time he has to spend in the court undercover, if he can find out from Catherine's house.
Sure.
So let's see. Also, there's I guess it's revealed there was a call from Arkham about Barnes' transfer not going well, and they have.
God. Gee, they only used 2 guards. Who could have possibly predicted that?
Yep, no idea where he is, and they're looking into it. Basically, they have no idea where Barnes is. I don't even know if they know like how south things went. So Barnes is gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Bullock just tells Jim to be careful. And then as Jim is leaving, an old friend appears.
I love these scenes.
It turns out I am quite hard to kill, Jim.
It's Jim's old pal, the Penguin, Oswald.
This is great.
Oh, this is a great. I love the setting of this scene. I always love it's like behind Jim's house and the Penguins just there. It's like this little alleyway. I just love this set. I love everything about this scene. So Penguins,
like Penguins waiting, like Michael Myers or something. Whoa, sorry. Like Michael Myers or something. He's just kind of like lurking in the shadows like a horror movie villain.
And again, we have sort of that proto-Batman thing where he has just like kind of that other element in his life, just kind of waiting outside, just to spook him.
Right.
Like Batman pulls this on Gordon like every time. He just boo. He always does that. constantly does. I just love we're still doing that stuff here. But that's kind of the dynamic he and Penguin have. I love that. Mm-hmm. So Penguin. I want to make for a record. I mean, Penguin. Ever since he's him coming back from the dead and everything. Not literally dead. I'm just saying wounded. And now he's on the mend. He looks really good here. He's in a really cool looking suit. I mean, Penguin's he's really cleaned up. And then time we saw him last.
Yeah.
So Jim shouldn't be surprised, and he tells Jim he shouldn't be surprised. I'm quite hard to go, as you just said. Firefly's there, which means I take it this isn't a social call. Which it's good dialogue in the scene. Mm-hmm. It's a very great noir scene too. A very like kind of the private eye and his kind of the Sidney Greenstreet character, the one I can't trust this guy when we have like a business arrangement sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which has kind of been the crux of this dynamic the whole time.
Yeah. Also, kind of like a Peter Lorre thing too. I guess it's like Greenstreet meets Peter
Lorre is a good example. Yeah, that's good. Anyways,
and let's see. So basically, he tells Jim he's looking for Nigma, and he knows that Jim saw him last. Based on all the hoopla on the Court of Owls, Nigma calling out the Court of Owls on live television. And he calls BS on Enigma reportedly escaping from the great Jim Gordon.
Pretty
And
good
I love his
detective work on Cobblepot's part.
Absolutely, yes.
Stuff.
Again, this Penguin's he's smart. And he understands the way people work. It's one of his strengths. He just knows like kind of the weaknesses in people, so he kind of pieces it together. That he pieces it together that the core obviously exists based on Jim setting basically setting up the capture and disappearance of Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically capturing him, then he goes missing. Escapes custody, quote unquote. And just summarizes, his Penguin's put together that he handed Enigma off to the court. Then Jim, and I love this, and this to me speaks volumes, that Jim pleads respectfully that Penguin drop it for his own sake. He tells Penguin as a friend, essentially.
Yeah, I caught that moment as well. He's like, drop it, Oswald, please.
And I love that, because at the core of it, we've been building for 3 seasons now. I keep loving we go there. We go interesting places with this by the end. I'm so excited for season 4 with Jim and the Penguin, I'll say that much.
Okay.
Is that we really kind of build here is this sort of whatever Penguin does, Jim is responsible for, because he didn't kill him that first time, and everything Penguin does is always going to in some way tie back to Jim Gordon. And he feels that sense of responsibility. He's trying to keep him out of trouble, but also not have him get killed.
Sure.
And so he tries to seriously warn Penguin, again, always responsible. He will basically, he's afraid that Penguin's going to muddy the court plot. But
muddying the waters.
Yep, essentially. But also, he's worried he's going to get killed by him too. Hence, that's all like serious warning. Penguin's a quick study though, and he threatens to make a public show of he realizes, yes, I know what the court's going to do, and I'll threaten to make a public. Basically, he knows the position Gordon's in. He says, he threatens to make it public, a public show of the court. He'll make a scene about the Court of Owls, essentially. Oh, yes, I'm challenging the Court of Owls as well. unless
I expect the court to give me a call by the end of the day, and I want them to deal with me in a professional manner, Jim.
I love how opinionated and demanding the Penguin is for civility, and it kind of makes sense. The Court of Owls would be the only group to give him civility.
Right.
But I just love that. I mean, I was worried that was going to be like a misunderstanding, but no, Penguin. That's smart writing in my opinion. Where Penguin's just going like, look, he just wants Jim to facilitate a meeting, which is obviously what Jim would have to do. I mean, he's cutting.
I mean, that's really not out of the question, If I guess Penguin's not acting mayor anymore, but I don't know. It would be more reasonable if Penguin was acting mayor.
Unfortunately, we don't really get any answers to with Penguin back. Does he become mayor again? Unfortunately, we don't really do anything with that.
I mean, I'm just assuming it's evil Bing Bong still.
Well, yeah, but he's getting over the bomb threat, I guess. But he's around, so I guess he's still mayor. But again, we just never checked back in with the mayor thing, so yeah, he's just still probably acting mayor.
Okay.
Well, no, now he's the new, regardless of the new mayor. Anyway, so he gives Jim, and I love this. He gives Jim a hotline to the Penguin.
Yes.
Kind of like a little
prelude. Dragon, if only this show was as interactive as Better Call Saul and we actually had a phone number for this. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Hello, I am Oswald Cobblepot. You have reached the Cobblepot hotline. If you are a member of the Court of Owls and wish to inform me of your status, please press 1. If you are trying to sell me something, please go away, or else I will have you murdered. Thank you, and have a good day.
Oh, that's great. Yes, that would be wonderful. I just love like a little prelude to the eventual bat phone, the bat line.
Right.
It's going to have. It was essentially good. Plus, at times in the comics, like Batman would give Jim a burner phone when they wanted to kind of update it from the '60s bat phone. So yeah, it's kind of what they. It's like a fun little kind of proto-Batman idea with Penguin and Gordon again. So anyway, so yeah, and Jim points out this feels like a threat, and there's this great callback to the Favor stuff where Penguin says, "We're all old. After all, Jim,
we're old friends here, aren't we?"
Yeah, we're old friends. And Robin Lord Taylor, the way he plays Penguin, I get a sense of he actually feels a little hurt by the fact he has to bring that up to Jim. He fades over.
Right.
I just love you can kind of read that on his face, like he feels a little hurt bringing that up. Okay. Meanwhile, Jim's sneaking to Catherine's home. Of course, I love the history in.
Can I just say, this is really silly, but every time we get a scene of someone sneaking around someplace they shouldn't be, I just instantly think of the Crunk theme music. It instantly comes to mind because I'm a silly man.
Oh, if Ben McKenzie did that, I'd lose.
Oh my god! It's like the butler walks by and he's like, "Oh."
I'd probably have like he'd probably have either he'd be humming some sneaking around music from
Oh,
Batman
God.
the Animated Series, or just to be hilarious and random, he'd just be humming a version of the Wonder Woman theme. It's an awesome theme. I'm just saying, just workshopping themes. I mean, anybody kind of hit upon it as like a point of genesis, like
all right.
as he's lock picking a door. All right. Anyway, getting back on point. So Jim's sneaking into Catherine's home. Of course, they have a great sense of history in Catherine's home. Again, kind of the first family of Gotham sort of deal. He's looking inside like a drawer in her fancy desk. And again, unfortunately, we don't really get like a lot of answers to a lot of the cool stuff that's in this drawer. Again, like we get like a little inkling. Again, this feels so Scott Snyder-esque here, where he has like 37 die, but the rest of the paper's cut off. Like 37 die, come on!
Right.
I want to know what happened there. I'm like tying to some backstory. Come on. Anyway, so then he searches the next drawer and he finds. This was great. Feels so much like the Court of Owls book. He finds the owl symbol, which is kind of a new take on the symbol, which looks kind of very much like the mask everyone's wearing, so it's kind of cool. Finds a little owl symbol in the bottom of the drawer, and he finds it's actually a secret compartment with a Wayne Enterprises access badge. I think it says 1139, and what most likely that is, you could be 39 as in, that 1939 Batman's first appearance.
Sure.
But 1139, kind of like one past George Lucas's short film. Rolling beyond. So Catherine returns at the most inopportune time. Jim puts the drawer back. Importantly, he's in a rush and he's very panicked, so he doesn't shut it all the way. The butler's back as well, which is a talent, I believe, like a talent.
Did you notice the butler is named Thomas?
Yes.
Nice call.
Yes. So there's no escape. So then Gordon goes with the gutsy play, which oh boy, it's a gutsy one. He reveals himself. He just walks in. He just kind of walks in there, and Catherine's obviously surprised. What are you doing here?
Right.
He tells Catherine. All importantly, he tells Catherine that the Penguin has returned, and he's looking for Nigma, and he knows that it's the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I like how upfront he is in this moment.
She's saying, "Is there anything else? We already know that." Bear in mind, more real and more like intimidating. I'm just boiling it down. But then he says he's tired of being in the. I mean, the real reason he's there essentially is that he's tired of being kept in the dark. He wants a seat at the table. And she's impressed by Jim's ambition. She's impressed by kind of the.
Got some cojones on him.
Yeah, and Jim wants information on the big judgment, because all they talk about in such grandiose terms, he doesn't even know what the judgment is.
Right.
And we have an excellent line. Oh, an excellent little delivery by Catherine here. Gotham is sick. Crime and violence is so common. People have become numb to it. To heal it, we have to force them to take notice by showing the people of Gotham their darkest selves.
Oh yeah.
I'll consider your request, and then she orders, leave my house at once.
Yeah, I love how she gets all intimidating right at the end there. She's accommodating up until that last sentence.
Oh yeah, just again, this Catherine's just been a great representation of all the mystique and all kind of the prestige of the Court of Owls with lines and monologues like that. Just all top marks.
Okay. So I love how this next shot plays out, where Gordon's leaving the house and Catherine is literally looking through the window, is like the evil queen from the Snow White ride at Disneyland trekking.
Yep.
As Gordon is leaving, and Gordon instantly calls Harvey, I know what the plan is. They're weaponizing the Tetch virus.
Yep, I like that I can just kind of infer that just based on the whole darkest selves thing. Okay, Tetch virus, not good. But yeah, really well composed,
as they explain, because they're back at the lab with Lucius, and they say the court, they knew about Alice Tetch, so it makes sense that they'd want to utilize that in some way.
Yeah, so also it was well composed shot with Catherine and the Snow White.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's see. So Jim reveals, Jim's revealing to the Alice Tetch blood, and importantly, they have Lucius. Lucius is in the fold now, which is obviously is a smart call. It'd be kind of ridiculous if they didn't have Lucius in the fold, the guy who might be able to make a cure.
I love how the analogy of like throwing Lucius into the deep end of the pool, and then meanwhile you have Harvey Dent, and he's just like in water wings, and he's just like, "Can I at least dip my toe in the kiddie pool?" "No, Harvey, get back in the garage."
Back in the garage?
Yeah, it's a play on the the Brady Bunch joke from Family Guy. Bobby, back in the garage.
Right.
Anyways.
Well, basement, I thought it was, but okay.
Oh, it might be basement, tomato. Anyways.
Anyway.
Or Harvey Dent. All he wants to do is play in the kiddie pool, and he can't even do that.
And it's just like human, like basically on dry land with flippers and like little inflatable.
Yes.
Imagine
like an inflatable Donald Duck.
Here's the funny thing. I'm imagining like these in the old style, like kind of like 40s bathing suits, where it's like a tank top, it's like a one piece like tank top to the shorts, and basically has like the he's got flippers, he's got goggles, he's got the water wings, and he's got like the Donald Duck like little inflatable thing. But also you have Crispus Allen wearing the exact same thing with a snorkel thing. You're just saying they wouldn't let you in the pool either, would they?
Okay.
Anyway, so that tangent aside, back to the plot, back to the deadly blood plot.
Yeah.
So the pool line, so after the whole, started throwing on the deep end of the pool like this, Lucius, and of course Lucius has this great line saying, "Oh, you mean a secret society that controls all of Gotham?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically he's asking if it's possible to release the virus on a large-scale attack like this. Mm-hmm. Which Lucius confirms that yes, they could do it on a large scale like this. They need a sample to do this on a large scale. They're going to need a sample, but we destroyed all the samples after Mario.
Yeah, but they don't need a sample of Alice's blood. They just need a sample of someone with the virus.
Barnes has gone missing recently, which of course
it's all making sense. All right.
The question is where, and Jim shows Lucius. He shows Lucius the Wayne Enterprises badge, of course, be a clue to where a lab is. Because, of course, Lucius worked at Wayne Enterprises. Of course, he might have an insight to this. Lucius remembers there are some off-site labs, which basically these might go to, because he hasn't recognized the badge from any other things, but he's heard about these off-site labs. And with basically, again, all the kind of detective work, and Lucius kind of lives for helping out, kind of solve puzzles and stuff like this. So we kind of together that, with Barnes, someone with super strength, they have to keep him somewhere and then keep him off-site so he won't be noticed, because again, he just escaped the mental institution. They need to be in a place that's small, isolated, and a controlled environment. So that gives them an idea, which we'll get back to later on. Mm-hmm. Well, gives them an idea where to search, essentially. More on that later. So Ivy,
I like how he just kind of like quickly goes through it by the process of elimination.
Yeah,
so nice good detective work all around in this episode.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yes, we've got some, I call it like wacky Danny Elfman-esque music playing in this scene as Ivy's kind of tending to Selena.
I just love that she's controlled all the nurses that bring a whole bunch of the plants in there.
She calls it she calls this one plant she's brought in a break glass in case of emergency sort of deal, which I love that analogy. Yeah. She's just really I like how genuine Ivy is here. She's just like, just wake up, okay? Please, just wake up. All right.
Yeah, she's really dedicated to Selena, as she mentions, like a real nice human moment where she says, after all the times I screwed up, you were always there for me, so I'm not going to leave you.
Right.
Let's see. So and she'll be there when Selena wakes up, which she knows she will. She's very confident, and of course, we've never seen Selena this vulnerable. Mm. Oh yeah, because she's always been a constant in Ivy's life, and just kind of the last human connection that she has. Obviously, very, very into kind of healing Selena, which of course she has all of her plans to hopefully do so. Okay,
let's see. So now we are we're going to go into another memory with Bruce. And
I called this that all those needles were different memories. I called that.
Yep. It's not the alley. Bruce, do you know how many times we've seen the alley on film? We're not going back to the alley.
We can't afford it, all right? We destroyed this.
Zack Snyder set the bar on the alley, and we can't beat him, so we're not doing that anymore.
Darn right. Yes, he did. I mean, oh my gosh, that's still that. All
right.
Anyway, so let's see. So basically, the memory that gives him is the first time Bruce felt rage, which was not the alley.
Yeah, this is a really good. I'm wondering, Dragon, is this in any other Batman canon? Just these specific details of the parents' wake? Because it's really good backstory for Bruce.
Well, I mean, they're always kind of odds and ends stories, just kind of filling in like memories, either right before or like a little bit afterwards. For example, in Batman Forever, of course, that we had the wake in that one where it's Bruce at the funeral of his parents, and he takes his father's notebook, he runs out into the rain.
Sure, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had like takes on mostly in media, but yeah, we've had like a couple of things like this. But tying it to this manner, like the first time we felt Rage, I don't think we've really done it that much. And I guess one thing it kind of reminds me, just on the spot here, is it kind of reminds me of Bruce being a really kind of dark place looking for answers. Through the Court of Owls in. He was looking for reason. He's like looking in the attic of Wayne Enterprise, not in Wayne Manor.
Right.
Looking for owls and stuff, looking for evidence of the court, which
that's true.
Nothing.
That's true.
Maybe it's a little bit filling in the blanks of what happened after the parents. Anyway, so we're at the wake.
Yeah, let's see. And he's talking about it's the first time he processed death and thought of himself as an orphan, and everyone was kind of talking about like, oh, what's going to happen to Bruce Wayne? They're all feeling sorry about Bruce Wayne. No one's, basically it bothers Bruce that no one's caring about the parents, like no one's grieving the parents. They're all thinking about Bruce.
I love that. I just love that idea that's what made Bruce mad. The fact that his parents were getting diddly squats, all that. I love this too. This is like a real thing with death that we've talked about, even with like 13 Reasons Why and stuff. Just like it's such a realistic thing about death that you don't really see brought that often. People make it about either themselves, like, "Oh, aren't I so caring, worrying about the orphan boy," instead of the actual. I'm sorry.
Courtney Crimson.
Essentially, yes.
Yes.
But again, the locker scene from the beginning, like people like taking pictures, like, oh, hey, look.
Hashtag never forget.
Yes.
Anyways.
And but yeah, see what I mean? It's just this kind of that great thing of just like Bruce is so pissed off that it's his parents weekend. No one's mentioning their names. No one's saying Thomas and Martha. No one's just no one's saying, oh my God, I'm so. Then no one else.
Why did you say that name? I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
No one's feeling the like no one's upset over the loss of Thomas and Martha Wayne. They're just like trying to kind of get in good with the rich kid, essentially.
Right, exactly.
So let's see. So following that, okay. So if unchecked, if this rage goes unchecked, it will consume Bruce, and he needs to remove. That's essentially what the shamans will. That's the reason he shows him this. And he doesn't want him to give up the memory. He just wants him to give up the emotions connected to the memory. That's the point of all this. So he wants to get rid of the emotions connected to the memory. Bruce questions what happens if he doesn't, which Bruce will just be in the prison that he's been in so far, just like not actually like in the labyrinth prison, but in a prison of just being held back by this.
Right.
Like Bruce is in prison, the shaman's offering him a way out of this, and he's asking him, "Why me? Why do this to me? Why am I the protector?" Huh? Basically, this big protector for the big plot here is Gotham needs a protector, and you need a purpose. So he shows Bruce what he needs to. He says he's willing to show Bruce what he needs to do, but all of these need to be Bruce's choice. It needs to be Bruce's choice. The shaman, he takes him to the wake. I'm sorry, all that stuff I just went through is basically is all talked about within the wake scene. So we really went through what's said about the wake, and basically the point is after Bruce establishes what made him angry, he then holds like a symbol of this scene, his father's cufflinks, which I believe were not bare with Thomas Wayne because Bruce picked them out. They were like a birthday or anniversary present.
Yeah, this is a really sad story about how they were supposed to be buried with Thomas, but Bruce couldn't let him go.
Yeah, because like he helped pick him out for Thomas, so it's like he's just it's a symbol of just kind of him holding on to his parents and holding on to kind of the memories attached to to his parents. And essentially, this is like a symbol of what he needs to it's a scene that kind of reminds me the cufflinks story kind of reminds me of Jim with Peter Gordon a little bit. The whole Flash. I mean, Jim was in a very similar position in his dream where he had to let his father go, taking the key, letting him go.
Right, I can see that, sure.
I just kind of like the parallel between Jim and Bruce. They're kind of both in kind of a dream state where they have to kind of move forward in their arc based on these dreams.
Mm-hmm. All
right, so he lets him go. He lets the cufflinks go. He locks him away in a safe. I like the safe idea. What do you think?
Yeah, it's I honestly I think you're kind of catching on to this whole like mysticism, League of Shadows stuff a little bit more than I am. But yeah, it's all cool. It's all neat. Kind of reminds me of like some Doctor Strange like mysticism in a way.
Yeah. So Bruce locks him away, and the minute he does that, he passes out. He passes out. He's just been kind of, the wind gets knocked out of him across the room. The shaman says, "I've been waiting a long time. We will make Gotham. We will make Gotham pay."
Ominous line right there. Kind of sounds like Ra's al Ghul. We'll see.
We'll see.
This guy's real name Ra's al Ghul?
No.
No? Okay, good. I'm just checking.
Again, we do get confirmation which comic character is, but basically, unofficially, I'll just explain this. Unofficially, whatever the character they reveal him to be, he's also supposed to be, Henry Ducard is supposed to be his actual name, but I guess they wrote it out of the episode.
Okay. All right, so let's see. So we're back at a sector of Wayne Enterprises. The access card works. Lucius was right on with that. Go Lucius. Let's see. There's no guards or security. It's quiet. Too quiet.
We had some great lighting, and again, that set again. We have dead guards.
Mm-hmm.
The test subject is loose, and he's pleading for help. This is such a sad scene.
It is. Yeah.
I'm not the bad guy here.
I'm the good guy here, please.
He just feels like he's not. Basically, a lot of paranoia sets in. Of like, you're not listening to me, and he lunges at him, and there's a very intense fight. I mean, Jim's almost gets killed, and then thankfully he is saved by Hugo Strange.
Oh, awesome save! Awesome save.
That's cool. And I guess Hugo Strange and Jim have had their issues, especially at the end of the last season. So,
right.
Let's see. So, come back from commercial break. We realize that Hugo Strange has weaponized the virus for the court to use against the city, and that before they arrest them,
Strange basically points out the logic in not arresting him. He's like, I don't think that would be a wise idea. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, the thing I was thinking of was Bullock had this hilarious thing. He's about to read him his Miranda rights. Hugo Strange under arrest for, well, you know what you did, because just getting lost in all the stuff.
Right.
It's like, you know why.
Really and then again, I love how cocky Strange is. He's just like, oh, you don't want to do that, do you?
BD1 is so great.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
Right. So because arresting him would tip off the Court of Owls, the plan being in jeopardy. He asks about he basically mentions that it's exposited in the scene between them talking about what's going on. Is that the crate at Dock 9C had the delivery mechanism for the virus, which is to be tested, very soon today. Even I think it's to be tested, and there's enough. There might be enough time to foil them if they don't get skittish of you busting Hugo Strange very publicly. Okay, well now we got to accelerate things. That's the worry. So, this is like a testing. They might be able to kind of stop it before the actual trial goes on, or maybe even stop the test for all we know. So the point is, arresting him would signal the Court of Owls, which is not good. Bullock questions this. What's the stop Hugo Strange from calling the Owl Brigade the minute we leave this place? The minute
the Owl Brigade.
Yeah, we leave. Yep. And Hugo Strange is playing both sides essentially, and he says, he gives him a show of goodwill. He gives him a show of goodwill. Then he gives him his research and samples of the virus, and he hopes it will be remembered.
Oh God! Oh, that beat long.
And again, this is the brilliance of Hugo Strange, because the Court of Owls has mistreated him. They always kind of intimidate him, because again, just the fear that he had when he was arrested at the end of season 2, which got me so excited for. Oh my God, the Court of Owls.
Right.
He's playing both sides, because he wants the way that ensures his survival. I just love that.
Yeah, totally.
Classic, and that's classic Hugo Strange. Is you never know what side he's going to be on at times. I'm not saying Hugo Strange is usually holding all the cards, but still, I mean, he plays mind games. That's what Hugo Strange does best.
You might say I'm like this show's equivalent to Loki.
So what's you remember what Bullock's line is?
You logical bastard.
It's just a great line by Bullock. So let's see, and basically they'll blame the deaths of the guards on the poor test subject for all the mess.
So
good luck, detectives. And then they have Lucius working on the cure, and Jim deals with the bomb.
Yeah, and then Jim gets a call from Catherine. It's time to take the next step. I think you were right. Let's see if you're worthy of the light.
Oh boy. You said you didn't want to be kept in the dark. Now let's see if you're worthy of light. An excellent little line, just talking about darkness, talking about light. So,
right,
let's see.
cool.
Bruce finally
cool training
defeats.
Scene with Bruce, yeah.
He finally defeats a sparring partner, his let's just say league sparring partner. He's more focused with his feelings. Now he has more of a sense of balance going on there. Again, he's kind of letting go of the anger, so he's more focused in the battle. And the shaman's asking him, how do you feel since we got rid of this? He says, I feel nothing. He asked the shaman if he can
go home, because that was the deal.
Yes, if he can go home as promised. He offers him the choice. Well, you can I can take your pain away, and you can return to Gotham with a power you never thought possible. Or you can just or you can basically he's free to go, but or you can just stick with him as he can make him even better. So Bruce continues his training. This bit right here, I really love.
This is a really good Bruce Wayne bit right here. Yeah.
And David Mazoux, I just love how he's zeroing in on what Batman sounds like at the young age. He sounds
totally.
Because it reminded me of two things. One was him just saying, we're not done. Get up. We're not done. Just him saying that with that authority. It so embodies Batman, but also kind of to me, and this is me reading into it, it kind of embodies Batman training the Robins. He would say that to them. He was
right.
Like the Taskmaster when training a Robin. It's like this is where it came from.
Really cool stuff.
So Jim's welcomed by Catherine and Talon.
I'm sorry to have to do this, Jim, but we're going to need your gun and your phone.
Yep. They're in a private room overlooking a party of the Daughters of Gotham. I just love the Daughters of Gotham. Always the sense
very
of madness.
Snyder-esque. Very good Snyder-esque.
Yes. New York Snyder. It's always New York Snyder.
New York Snyder. New York Snydes. New York Snydes. Okay.
Yes. So essentially, again, I love her giving. This is like what I'm talking about with Catherine's backstory here. She's giving like the spiel of what she's experienced in her years in Gotham. So, the Daughters of Gotham are socialites who believe they hold power in a city, when what they really are is window. Oh my God! What they really are is window dressing. That's such an excellent. They are with that. It's basically they're a front of what Gotham believes is real power. And we're the ones they don't even know about us, and we're the ones actually
right.
Puppet masters. And of course then Catherine reaffirms that Catherine's family is one of the first in Gotham, which implies Gotham's approximately, at least judging by the 89 thing, approximately 200 years old. So Catherine family quite possibly dates back to at least 200 years. So since the court's founding, so the court's been around as long as Catherine's family's been around, which suggests 200 years, which is pretty impressive.
Right.
They made different, and the purpose of what they're doing here with Jim, so she explains to Jim, if you're going to get a seat at the table, we need to know you can make difficult decisions to ensure Gotham's survival, ensure the survival, long-term survival. That's what it is. And she brought Jim up there to test if he's willing to do the same. And she presents the dispersal bombs. Essentially, the bombs here won't exactly go boom, but they'll basically disperse the giant plumes of red madness that will lead to death. Very Begins-esque. So she tells we're going to show Gotham its true self. So 200 people, and Gordon's trying to save him best he can. He says 200 people won't change anything. We get some logistics of the virus.
Yeah, she's talking about well, you're right. 200 people in a world won't make that much of a difference, but consider this a test, Jim, because in an open space, the radius of the infection is half a mile or more.
Yes, and it'll work for enact in about 4 minutes.
I need to trust that you're ready to make difficult decisions. If you try to stop the bomb or interfere in any way, Talon has instructions to execute him on the spot. And Dragon, I gotta say, I fucking love how Ben McKenzie calls it on, Catherine just simply calling the guy Talon and not my Talon or the Talon. I love how they play that moment. Okay, so next scene we have Gordon, he's just so Talon, I assume that's a nickname, right? That's great. That's great.
Yeah, this is just—it's so hilarious him making small talk with a Talon. Wouldn't want to miss out on
I love
this.
how Catherine, like, you know, she doesn't even like formalize the guy. She's just like Talon. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. So, by the way, all that stuff before was just great exposition about through the about the court's lore and everything.
Sure.
Jim just playing along, and he agrees. Essentially, it's kind of what also happened in the scene. So yeah, so he's making hilarious small talk with the town. Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to miss out on the sounds of 200 people tearing each other's throats out.
Right.
Yeah, we've got this town just essentially kind of throughout the thing. I think here too, like talking to shut up. He doesn't want to hear about him. So the device is in place. Gordon puts the device in place. He secretly dials the Penguin phone. The Penguin hotline.
Hello, you have reached Oswald Cobblepot. I won't cut through it all.
Kind of like a bat phone gag in a way.
Right.
So Penguin urgently, he eagerly answers, and he hears Gordon kind of signaling him with the location through small talk with the Talon. Speaking of Nigma, the first bank, speaking of Nigma, the first bank, the Talon tells Jim to stop talking at this point. But importantly, Penguin has the address and the information. Like, okay, Nigma was mentioned. We got a location. Go in there. Okay. Meanwhile, Bullock gives Lucius a sample of blood from Nico Strange. No word from Jim, which of course raises a red flag. And we you're not gonna believe this. It's been so long I forgot about this. We have an intrusive Lee scene, which I wrote a very angry. I drew a very angry face.
You just resorted to your artistic side to get your anger out.
No, I just noted in my fingers. I drew a very angry. It had little teeth grinding. It has little bat eyes. It's very very.
Are you helping Jim too, Lucius? I understand Bullock, but not you, Lucius. It's like Lee and Lucius have barely spent any screen time together, man. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
It's pretty safe to say this scene is worse than the previous one we had, right?
Yeah, I mean, the previous one was bad, but it just keeps getting worse. It progressively gets worse, Dragon. The more Lee's in the episode, it progressively gets worse.
And just to boil it down here, why this scene is so terrible. So, Lucius is...
How many people does he have to kill before you all see what I see?
Well, that's pretty bad. But no, I'm saying, ladies, it's Lucius. He's calmly and rationally.
I swear, Lucius, I will. What happens to Mario will never happen to anyone ever again. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay. So Lucius,
the lines are so bad, Triken. They're so bad.
Build to it a little.
Okay.
Let me get you there.
All right.
Lucius calmly and rationally is explaining without giving details. That's when he says, Jim's doing something to make sure the same thing happens to no one else. Mm-hmm. So the point is, Lucius is very calmly and rationally explaining, no, Lee, it's not what you think. It's we're just I can't tell you, I can't tell you, but we're in the right here. And again, I would trust Lucius Fox. Believe me, the guy's never he took down the Riddler. I would trust the guy.
Right.
And he assures her that Jim's in the right. I mean, he gives you essentially he would have sworn on the Bible if he asked him to, And then she I wrote my notes frustrating as well, just like, you're just like everyone else here. It's come on, he's just very calmly explained it.
I know. It's
not someone that even has he's tied into Bruce Wayne, not Jim Gordon. Come on.
Oh God.
He's an impartial source, Lee. Come on. Where's Bill Burr when you need him to yell at someone? Come on! Anyway. Okay, let's see. Catherine is... wait a minute. No, I'm sorry, it's not Catherine. That's a bad K. Sorry. So the clock's ticking. There's 3 minutes left. Jim's just standing there looking at the clock and he's like, screw it. Just because I just love the intent. I love the tension in the scene, just like Jim being put in the worst undercover position you can be in, where they have to let something bad happen.
Right.
And he just can't because Penguin's still not here. Crap! I gotta basically that's to blow his cover. So it's but what I liked in the scene is that technically he could spin it that hey, I mean Catherine's gone, and if Talon doesn't survive, then hey.
Uh-huh.
What's about to happen? You could just play it off as that. So you have Jim versus the town. Jim starts to respectably, he takes a beating. He's not instantly killed by the town. I love how he uses the serving tray move. Basically holds his own using that. Jim holds his own against the Talon before Firefly burns the Talon alive.
Right.
It's impressive. He didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
So Firefly and Penguin show up.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. Firefly just kind of interferes, burns the Talon to a crisp. Talon falls down into the crowd, kind of in the same style as the demise of Cottonmouth in a way, just falls down to the main floor.
Yep. And this leads to a panic, and the civilians are going to the exit. So again, it was beneficial. I mean, everyone's going to flee from the exit now. They are scattering. Jim works on clearing the rooms to make sure there are no stragglers. Penguin's questioning, how am I going to get Enigma?
Yeah, their assassin. My guess is they'll be in touch.
That's a great line. It's just you plant the logic there and say, "Hey, you want to be here? Be my guest." Again, because the place is going to be gassed.
And then, of course, what would a good episode of Gotham be without James Gordon heroically saving someone? In this case, a little girl. Really good.
I love
really
that
good.
so much. Them saving the little girl at the last minute and closing the doors. That's awesome.
Yeah, really good stuff.
And we get again the scary. I mean, did the dispersal thing kind of scare you a little bit? It's like how ominous it looks. It's like that red dust and that red plume of madness.
I mean, I don't want to say it scared me. But yeah,
well, no, I'm just saying it's
effective looking. Yeah,
I'm just saying it's effective. It's like a real get a bad feeling pit of your snow when that thing's you hear that whirling thing. It wasn't just it doesn't seep out like a gas, like a smoke bomb.
Sure.
It's whirling stuff there. So okay, so that's the end of that scene. The shaman is calling Catherine to tell her that Bruce believes in his promised destiny, and he's leaving tonight. They're leaving tonight. They're all signed off and good on that front.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely established here that the shaman is Catherine's spirit. The shaman's in charge of Catherine.
Yeah, which is interesting. I didn't expect that. So nice little reveal there. I'm curious to see how that goes. Where that goes in the future. Anyways.
Meanwhile, Penguin's ranting to Firefly, basically saying Bruce is on the way and the plan, everything's going to be ready. So that's essentially what was kind of talked about there. Catherine not kind of revealing the botched test, but still, so everything's going according to plan. So Penguin's ranting to Firefly. Hilarious. So take us through this.
Okay, let's see. He's basically going over.
The Court of Owls should have responded to him by now. He's ranting and.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dre. I don't really have any lines here, but yeah.
Well, basically, as he's just kind of going over all, why is the Court of Owls not made contact yet?
I do have. Where the hell is Ivy and the human popsicle?
I love him calling Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze
the human popsicle. Yeah, I do have that. Sorry, it took me a minute. But notes, anyways.
So let's see. So then Talon. I love this Talon's
stealth. Very well played. This almost kind of reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy style comedy right here.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me very much of the classic. This is a fun little glimpse of the future where Penguin's going to have to constantly deal with this with Batman, where he just will swoop out of frame and take down his guys, then him.
Right.
Like this, basically the town's stealth take down Firefly and then Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Okay, let's see.
Ivy,
yes. So, basically, Selena reemerges. She comes out of her coma, but she is, much like another guy that Ivy rescued from death. She's off to kill someone. I love how this is becoming a trend with Ivy.
Yep, and again, I like that we kind of did the Batman Returns thing with something a little smarter here, where we did bring her back through supernatural, scientific supernatural against plants, so it's scientific, I guess. We brought her back somehow, in a very otherworldly way. We that's how we brought her back instead of just mysterious cat magic.
Mm-hmm.
So she was healing plants and stuff. The break glass in case of emergency plan took effect. She's woken up and she has someone to kill, which of course would be Dr. Bruce.
Oh yeah. Okay, and then we have even more Lee drama.
Good news though, she gets yelled at.
Yeah, she does get yelled at, but it's just it's so Oh, I'm resigning, Jim, and then I am leaving. You have infected this place and everyone around you. I am done with the GCPD, with Gotham, with you. You've taken everything away from me, Jim. Everything. There's nothing left. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And, and further on and so on and so forth. And then, Jim, he's like, you know what, Lee? I killed Mario. I'm done apologizing for it. I saw the knife and I pulled the trigger. You want to walk out that door and never come back? I can't stop it, but it won't help, Lee. Okay, it won't help. All right.
Yeah, he's not apologizing for killing Mario. Because again, I just love that he's just spelling it out for. It's just so dense. It's just like, I love Jim's. He's had enough of her crap. Okay, I don't know what happened. I think I'm a little sad because again, married in real life, it's like, oh, it's kind of a shame to see.
It legitimately makes me worried for Ben McKenzie and Morena Baccarin's marriage.
Well, I'll tell you this. The good news is, they officially. I'm saying they've been together and they were engaged. So now they finally got married recently. So again, they're doing good. So it's
okay. That's good to know. Maybe if they were having some issues or like pre-marriage jitters, they had this is sort of like couples counseling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I just love that Jim's been taking a lot of crap, and I just love that he finally got a chance to kind of yell. And he's like, "Hey, you had a knife, you stupid! For Christ's sake, you had a knife!"
Right.
Which part of he was going to kill you? Don't you understand? Jesus, that is. I'm finally glad he at least got to say something about that. Anyway, so she's not just putting. Why can't she just put Mario's infection on Jervis Tech? She keeps putting it on.
Yeah,
Jim
right.
So then Jim finally goes into the thing he just said. Don't believe me. Jim, stop it! But it won't help you believe me because again, Jim has been in that frame of mind, just being kind of like stagnating a little bit. He's just telling her, "You get over it. It's the best course action," which Jim did at the beginning of the season. Again, this scene, the one thing I will say here, because he calls back the whole, you asked me how can I move on, and he tells her, and it's nice to call that. That was the only good line we got out of all the Lee bashing Jim Gordon stuff. The only good line we had. It was actually an intriguing line, like how can you live with all this stuff? That was the one interesting line she had, like, at least passable, out of context.
I would call it passable more than interesting. But
well, I'm just saying, looking for any glimmer of light in any of that. So
fair enough.
All right. So again, just Jim. We have the Jim alone again shot.
Yep.
So I wrote down as good riddance to Lee. Just hurting her leaving the GCPD. She wants to quit. Hooray!
Right. Haven't we gone down this road before with her, like once or twice? Seem to remember. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So Catherine.
Yeah, she discovers the access badge is missing, and she is pissed.
Yeah, and again, through the drawer open a little bit, the drawer's open, it's a little hair, and then, of course, you infer, okay, the badge is gone. She puts it all together.
Yeah, let's see. Then,
Penguin demands an audience with the man in charge. He's in a cage. He's in a bird cage, appropriately enough, which is pretty funny.
I just have it. It basically looks like the big Pinocchio cages, when Pinocchio was in the bird
yes,
cage.
It does. Yes.
Oh God.
So
I am Oswald Cobblepot. You cannot do this to me. I demand to speak to the person in charge.
He doesn't get the person in charge, but he gets to see an old friend.
Oh boy!
And no, it's not Jim Gordon. He's in trouble with the court, but he's not quite there yet.
Yep.
It's Nigma.
Everyone knows it's Nigma.
And it's let's just say it's not a happy reunion.
Just a really intense stare down from both of them.
Penguin's in shock, and then we just see that he gets up real close to the cage, and he reaches for him because he wants his blood.
Right.
All right, so then unfortunately it seems with the next scene here that Jim's relation with the Court of Owls has probably been terminated because unfortunately, I was hoping, while the episode was going on, I was hoping that he could use the whole excuse of, well, Penguin knew he stopped the whole thing from happening, so that was all in Penguin, and you took care of that, so I'm still good for the Court of Owls, right? Yeah. So obviously, again, Gordon's basically Catherine realizing, he took the badge. That was the last straw, implying, okay, he's plotting against us. So now she knows, absolutely, so there's no salvaging that anymore. Catherine apologizes for the callousness she showed Barnes at the beginning of the episode. She thought the Barnes crossed from a big old fancy table. she establishes that they both want judgment for Gotham, and they both have been deceived by Jim Gordon, who threatens to undo everything they seek and wants.
I'm sorry, and I totally jumped ahead, Dragon. This is where we get the great Barnes just bursting through his bonds, and he's just over the moon. He just can't wait to speak. He takes off the mask, and he's just like, Jim Gordon is guilty, and I will be his executioner.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh boy. Okay. All right, Dragon. So let's play the guessing game. All
right.
Okay. Dragon, I'm just to abbreviate this, I'm just going to take 3 guesses. Okay, 3 guesses as to stuff that is going to happen. All right.
All right.
Okay. Let's see, and we're going to be doing this based on episode 19. All will be judged. Keep in mind, I have literally not even seen a promo for this. So my 3 predictions are that Selina and Alfred are going to team up against Doppelbruce finally.
Cold,
really? Okay. All right, let's see. I definitely think the main crux of the episode is going to be Barnes versus Gordon, and perhaps Barnes will finally die.
You're kind of in the middle on these two, to be honest with you. So I guess I can't use that. Let's just say you're in the middle. You're close.
Okay.
You're halfway.
And then I predict that Penguin and Riddler will come to a short-term agreement, a short-term alliance to get out of the cages they're in. But then the minute that they're out of the cages, they're going to go back to wanting to kill each other.
You're on fire!
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Jeez. All right.
You got scarlet fever, boy.
Oh, man. All right. And
Lawrence Fishburne's in your bloodstream.
We'll be back next episode with more guessing games. Okay, so final thoughts on this, Dragon.
It's Gotham.
Final thoughts on Light the Wick.
Well, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun episode. We got a lot of, I think definitely the Court of Owls stuff is the highlight of the episode for sure. I'm honestly not really sure how to feel about Barnes. I'm very nervous about Barnes, to tell you the truth, but we'll see how that goes down. Really good stuff, really fun. We haven't seen Penguin and Gordon interact for a while, so it was good to see them together again. It's good to be together again. And overall, it's definitely not the strongest of the season, but it's a very solid episode, very solid entry into the season 3 saga. Looking forward to seeing how things end up. We've got 4 episodes left, including the 2-part season finale, so we'll see where things go from there.
Well, as per usual, barring Lee, the episode's pretty solid. It was we got some great Court of Owls history, great Court of Owls stuff. We had Jim in a very cool, impossible position. Him kind of trying to move up in the Court of Owls. Again, a lot of great undercover stuff with Jim Gordon this episode. It's very much kind of in the vein of like The Infiltrator almost. Mm-hmm. It's kind of Gotham's take on The Infiltrator, which of course stars Bryan Cranston. But no, in all seriousness, again, we have like a lot of. We're starting to pay off some stuff, here. Where again, when the Court of Owls undercover thing, which obviously now Gordon's kind of like he's reached the end of that, it would seem. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, Bruce, we're doing some interesting stuff. Him kind of like this. We bring up in this episode this great question of can Batman be Batman without his pain, or can Batman be Batman? Being numb to pain. So I think we're flirting with some really interesting ideas that are going to become more and more complex as they go forward. And just on the whole, it was on the whole good episode. This one was more like kind of getting us closer and closer to the finale. So this one, and I think this one and 19 are probably the most that move us forward to the finale. To be honest with you, this one definitely gets me. Bruce is ready, and he's going to be returning to Gotham. So that's on all good, very consistently good episode.
Okay, cool. All right, so take us out then.
Remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light. Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again. Now, you wouldn't want to go and do that, would you?